Hi, Rebecca.
Hey,
And
Christian.
hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca Lopez-Chris at the Department of Revenue.
And I'm Christian Crespo, Director of Communications.
And it's been a minute since we've gone live, but here we are, and we are pretty excited to be here. Um, we're doing kind of things a little bit differently when there's two of us, and we're actually got questions. We'll be able to take questions live as you ask them.
That's right. So I'll have this guy on the side because we want to make sure to get to your questions. And like the caption says, we will be talking about tax changes
Yeah.
and among other things.
Warts and all. I know that taxes are not everyone's favorite topic, but they are incredibly important. It's what funds the school district and city services, and it's especially important because there are big changes happening with business taxes starting right now.
And so I know we haven't done one of this in a while. You usually, like Rebecca mentioned, used to see her. But now between the two of us, we will drive this conversation. You will be a part of it. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions. Like we said, it will be interactive. That's why I'm looking this side because I want to make sure to get to your question at that point. But we have a lot to cover. But don't let that step you back because we got you. We actually got you covered because everything you've been probably seeing on the news, we're going to be talking about that. Anything that probably is giving you anxiety about what this means to you. I don't know right now if you are a business owner or if you're a homeowner, whatever it is, we're going to try to, from revenue, deliver all the information and the facts to you.
Right. So there are big changes coming, especially for businesses. And there's some changes that homeowners should just know. They should be able to they should just know it in the back of their hands, but the big conversation today is about business taxes.
Correct. So let's jump on it. If you're a business in Philadelphia, there's just general things that you should know, right? I mean, depending on how to open a business account, how to get a commercial activity license. Our customers or our taxpayers in Philadelphia has to open something called the Philadelphia Tax ID number. And we're hoping that you are that far in the process. If not, this is also a good conversation because, if you're even just considering to sophisticate or open a business in Philadelphia, this will be a good conversation, right?
I think so. And it's also a good reminder that we do regular presentations all the time about tax basics. So if you are really inexperienced or you're thinking about starting a business and you kind of want to know what all the information is that you need to know, check out the free library. We are doing Revenue 101, Philadelphia Taxes 101 at the free library. We also do it at the CCP at the Community College of Philadelphia.
Right.
And, if you work with an organization that works with businesses, we're happy to talk to you too. So just let us know whatever we can do to help you out.
And for those folks that are looking for a presentation or something, shoot us an email. It's revenue.outreach@phila.gov. We'll be looking out for those emails as well because our team is ready to talk to you. And we're actually at the end or throughout the presentation, we'll be talking about some opportunities for you to attend. We're doing this in combination or collaboration with Commerce, where they will be available and at hand to help you navigate this process. They will be available to do office hours. They're bringing the mayor's business action team. So we're going to be talking about those opportunities as well. But let's jump on some of the stuff that are coming up.
Sure.
That are already actually in effect.
Yeah.
So on June 12th, City Council and the administration finally passed the budget for fiscal year 2025. And this
fiscal year 26.
And this budget covers July 1st of 25 through the end of June 30th, 2026. However, most of these changes that are already becoming effect, especially for businesses, may cover the entire calendar year. So from January 1st through December 31st. And this is true for business income receipts tax. So that's one of the big changes. If you're familiar with the BIRT, BIRT, this is our main business tax. This is a tax that anyone in the city of Philadelphia is responsible for.
Right. Anyone doing business in the city, whether they're located here and doing business here, or if they're located outside of Philadelphia and doing business here, everyone pays BIRT, business income and receipts tax.
So BIRT is a two components tax. It's a component that will tax you on your gross sales in Philadelphia, and that's an important thing. If your business for some reason happens also outside of Philadelphia, like you take your business either on services, you deliver a good, you perform some of these businesses outside of Philadelphia, or you just go and attend like a trade show or a state fair outside of Philadelphia. We don't tax for any of that activity that happens outside of Philadelphia. We will only tax you for the activity that happens in Philadelphia, and that's true for the gross receipts part.
Right. And when you think of gross receipts, which I know it's kind of a weird word, it just basically means all of your sales, right? The receipt, just think of the receipts part. It's
Exactly.
everything that you sold.
And that's a good thing, or a good segue to mention. Keep your records separated. This is something we stress for everybody, but mainly because you do want to know where your sales are happening, where your business are occurring, and keep your records separated too. Like that is a good practice. And now with all the changes coming up, you truly want to stay on top of it and make sure that you keep records of all your sales.
Right. So, and it's also keeping your records separate from your personal records. Like you should have a separate bank account for your business. You should not be using personal banking stuff. And even if it's as simple as, a manila accordion folder for a file with a compartment for each month, that stuff is really important and it helps you stay organized. Ideally, you'll be using an electronic system, but you don't even have to. You don't have to be that sophisticated.
Right.
Just get it organized into something that you can track sales and your costs, and that's going to make you a lot happier when you have to file your taxes next year in April.
So that's the gross receipts part, and that's what portion of the BIRT. And then we have the net income portion. Again, all of it is combined, and both of them make up the BIRT tax in Philadelphia. The net income will be like the profit of your business, and where you're working with someone, this is the profit minus and deducting all of the expenses related to that businesses.
Right. So, the net income part of the tax is on all the stuff, all of the profit that happened after the cost, expensive deductions, all that sort of thing. This is an excellent time to bring up why you need to have, or you should have, a trusted tax preparer.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we say it all the time. We really encourage people to work with a tax professional, especially right now. This year for 2025, which you will file in April of 2026, it's just going to be, and especially if you don't have as much experience or you haven't had to file before, we really recommend that you work with a professional. So now is the time to find someone that you like,
Right.
Someone that you feel comfortable with, somebody who works the way that you like to work. Now's the time to find that person.
And if you're not already working with someone, we're going to talk about things you can go and search, because there are opportunities for you to find services, maybe for free or for a reduced fee, through the through the Philadelphia Department of Commerce. I mean, there's the whole Department of Commerce out there. So I do wanted to highlight it's a local Department of Commerce, the one that has these programs for you.
And also at the Free Library, there's accounting services. So
Right.
We'll definitely talk about resources as we get further into our discussion. But I think, people sometimes feel like, oh, that's intimidating or that's going to be expensive. No, it's expensive. Like making a mistake and not understanding it. It is an investment in your business for you to work with professionals who understand your unique business.
And understand Philadelphia specifically, infrastructure.
Yes.
I mean, we have a complicated tax system, but it's what we need and what it supports the city's essential services. But you also want someone who can help you navigate not only the responsibility, but also what it might be out there for you in terms of grants and programs. So it goes both ways. You do want to work with someone knowledgeable on Philadelphia. So tax rates now for 2025, with this budget for fiscal year 26, there's been reductions. And these reductions are actually being approved gradually for multiple years. And that is, something that it's not necessarily being communicated throughout. And so starting January 1st of 2025, all your activity will be taxed at a reduced rate. And this is true for both the gross receipts and the net income portion. City Council and the administration have been working on these reductions, and now they made a commitment that is approved that every single year going forward, you will see reduction on these tax rates.
Right, and this is something that's legislated. It's a long-term plan to reduce business tax rates in Philadelphia. I know right now it feels like it's like kind of incremental, a teeny tiny amount, but it's in the right direction. And
little by little, it adds up.
It will add up, and over time, we will eventually see that the gross receipts portion, the rate will be zero.
That's correct.
We're going to effectively get rid of
The gross receipt part of the
half
BIRT.
of the tax.
Correct.
That will happen in fiscal year 39.
And you will see it. Well, I mean, hopefully, as a business owner, you'll be, you look back from years from now. You know what? My liability and my tax burden has reduced gradually as these tax rates has offset, especially with the gross receipt reaching zero, very soon.
Right.
So another thing is changing. So again, tax rates are going down. I know it's only a tax rate, but there's one thing that may impact the way you interact with the taxes because a tax exemption that was available for almost 10 years or over 10 years is going away. So this was a tax exemption that you would not require to pay on gross receipt under $100,000. So any gross receipt under $100,000 were exempt of the gross receipt tax, and that is going away.
Right. So what happened is if previously in 2024 and before, if your business did less than $100,000 worth of business, you didn't have a BIRT liability. You didn't have a tax liability. In fact, you didn't even have to file. We recommended that you filed a form called the no tax liability form just to let us know that you're still here, you're still working, but you just don't have a liability. But that's changing, and that's unfortunate. What's happened is that there's a legal challenge to that policy, and unfortunately, because of the way that Pennsylvania's constitution is interpreted, we're not legally allowed to keep that policy anymore. It is not a decision we've made lightly. We don't want to do this. It is what we are being told we must do. So that being said, you will see an increase to your tax bill when you file next year. We're going to talk a lot about additional ways to reduce your tax bill and some ways that will help mitigate things like estimated payments
Right.
as we move forward.
So like Rebecca mentioned, it is something that if you before were under this exemption threshold, definitely will impact you. So to you, first of all, like Rebecca mentioned, the administration didn't take this decision lightly, but we know that it's also something that we're doing right by the fiscal responsibility that we have with the city. We could end up in a more dire situation if we didn't make this decision. So the administration took a very, I think, in my opinion, the responsible decision to do right by every business is by also trying to find ways to open programs and fund other opportunities that will come back to you in some capacity.
Exactly. And I think there are specific changes to the rates. I think it's probably not as helpful for us to just say them out loud. Maybe we can put them in the chat as we go later.
Sure.
So we'll do that as, moving forward, but keep in mind, rates will go down. Rates for wage tax are going to go down. The rates for, wage tax, net profits tax,
School income tax.
School income tax. They're all tied together. Those rates will go down. And, do we want to talk about use and occupancy?
Yes. So if you're also a business owner who operates a business out of a building that is a mixed use or something, you probably know the use and occupancy tax. This is a tax, again, on buildings that are multi-use or buildings that are utilized for business purposes. There was an exemption that unfortunately you can no longer keep for the same reason as the BIRT. And it was basically an exemption built into the assessed value of the property. So we were exempting the first $163,000 of one building, and then anyone above that was responsible for the UNO. And now everyone will have to start paying UNO. One thing to pay, bottom line is work with someone if you're knowledgeable on how this may impact you. So start talking to an accountant about how to prepare yourself for this change. But ultimately, it is probably something that is already built into your list. So also talk to your landlord, like do your research,
right.
Probably go to your business corridor and say, understand the relationship of other business partners and business colleagues and see, hey, how do you do it?
Right. So the use and occupancy tax is essentially on all of the property that is used for a business purpose. So commercial buildings, if you have a lease, it's probably in the lease and you are, if not, you've probably already been paying it and might not even realize it. But if you get a letter from us that says, hey, we have information that says that your business or your property is being used for a business purpose, because of that, we've set you up for an account. That's really where that's coming from.
So one thing we're going to be doing for businesses is we're sending notices. We're sending a postcard that will have some of this information in a more plain language and condensed way. Then we're going to send you letters. And these letters, first of all, please open our mail when possible.
Yeah.
Don't ignore it. Most of the time, it does include information that not necessarily all of it is pertinent to you, but we promise you that we'll keep it short, straight to the point, plain language that you can understand. It doesn't require you to be an accountant to understand what is in the letter. And if you're one of the persons or businesses impacted by any of these changes, we're going to be sending you some notices, right? We want you to understand what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and what you should do about it.
Right. And we're also, in those notices, encouraging people to sign up for our electronic newsletter, because that is where we're able to send you up to the minute information, right? And I mean, every year we say this, right? Like every year the budget gets passed around
mid-June.
Mid-June. And every year, just about, there are changes to rates that are effective July 1. And the fastest way for us to reach taxpayers is through email. So if you are signed up for our newsletter, we can immediately let you know what those changes are and how to be prepared. Also, we don't sell your information. We don't share your contact information. We don't spam you. The only information we send is
timely updates about tax rate changes.
The stuff that you need to know right now about maybe like these kinds of events, about policy changes, availability of new programs,
webinars, workshops.
Yeah, this stuff you need to know, not like, oh, here's pictures of our last picnic.
No, you don't want to see that.
We don't do that. Yeah.
Awesome. So right now we've covered BIRT, business incomes receipts tax. Again, if you're a business or doing business in Philadelphia, and if you were before under the 100,000 threshold, please embrace yourself. Talk to a professional, someone you know, someone you're confident. And if not, reach out to the Department of Commerce. You can go to, or you can reach out to them at business@phil.gov and start inquiring about any of the programs available. We'll be talking about a little bit more about that, but it really makes a long way. The city is actually, and the administration made a decision. Everything they estimate is going to come back in revenue from these increases. They're investing that back into programs and grants that goes and our services directly to business owners in Philadelphia.
Right. Those are direct investments. And we're not talking about just like loans. Like we're talking about grants. Like we're talking about money to help grow your business. If you have a business that you have a plan, you plan to grow by revenue or employees, or you want to buy a building or a space, like there's going to be resources out there for you. So please stay tuned. We're going to get to it.
Yes. So one thing we'll also like to communicate, or for you to understand, is because you probably weren't before required to file a return, there were things in our system that are not being recorded. If you're not familiar, some businesses may go through different times and challenging times. We recognize that like the pandemic times were very hard and challenging for some businesses. And during those times, you probably incur losses. And this is our things that where your business is not making a profit and you're basically operating on their, survivable or MO. Yeah. And at a loss.
And sometimes like that's planned, right? Like think about businesses that have investment that are funded through investments. So that's definitely a strategy. So, but if you have losses, we want to remind people that if you file a return and record those losses with us, you can essentially use that loss and offset it against future profits or against future tax liabilities. So what that's called, it's like a very wonky term, loss carry forward. Loss carry forward. Oh, but it's a noun, like a loss carry forward. Even though all those words are not nouns.
Yeah.
But
we are registering those.
Right. But a loss carry forward is something that helps smooth out your tax liability during, during the life cycle of your business, because, some years are great and some years are not. And so they don't want you to, generally speaking, you don't want to have, feast or famine when it comes to having to pay your taxes. So remember, if you had losses in the last 3 years, back to 2022, you can file a return and record those losses and then use them for the next 20 years. So that's a relatively new policy. That changed in 2022. Prior to that, we only accepted loss carry forwards for 3 years, but now we take them up to 20 years. It is interesting that Commonwealth and the IRS will accept a loss carry forward forever, indefinitely. So definitely, again, that's a really great reason why to talk to your tax planner, why to work with somebody professionally who can walk you through what that means. Even if you file the no tax liability form telling us, I don't have a tax liability, I don't need to file a BIRT return, thanks, bye. You may want to file a return. It's never too late to amend.
Right.
To amend a return. So you may want to file a return that shows that you've had a loss so that you can have it in the system to use later.
Talk to someone, really, who understand. I mean, once you show them everything, they will be able to tell you, you know what, there's an opportunity here, and they will know exactly what to do. And so you definitely want to work with someone who is knowledgeable. And I hate to say that, because you probably think, I'm a single business owner myself with limited resources. I'm just trying to operate this laundromat, this I don't know, corner store, whatever it is. And obviously it adds up to the operation cost. It adds up to the relation building. You just know a few people, the people you interact and some of your customers. So the things we also want to direct you to is, let's see where these resources are. The mayor's business action team is a great resource to help you connect with who these people are, where they are available in your corridor, who other business colleagues are working with, and that could help you lead and find who these trusted individuals are.
Right, exactly. Or are you a member of a chamber? Are you a member?
Exactly.
Do you other professional organizations that?
Right now is the time. I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily advocate for one specific organization, but these organizations are very knowledgeable on the things that we have available. We are training and doing presentations with every single organization that is in our purview and our radar, and they're the one who can also help you navigate the process, the paperwork. What is it you need to collect and bring to be eligible? What you need to submit. Remember deadlines. You want to do it by the deadline. You definitely don't want to miss that. This information might be available only in a computer, or the initial forms, the interest form as they call it. Right. So if you have any challenges overcoming that, maybe working and connecting with the Chamber of Commerce or a Mayor's Business Action Team is the opportunity to do so. The moment to do so.
Now you have time. You don't want to be rushed when it comes to next January. Should we talk about estimated payments?
For sure.
Okay. So I'm sure if any of you have been running your business for any amount of time, you know that you have to pay estimated payments to the IRS as well as the state. And in Philadelphia, those estimated payments are annual. At the state and at the federal level, those estimated payments are quarterly. Unfortunately, we're not able to do quarterly estimated payments. However, there's one exception.
Not forever.
However, for businesses who have not had to file in the last 3 years, now that doesn't mean you weren't in business. It just means that you didn't have to file because you didn't have a liability or you didn't have a filing responsibility. We will allow you to make estimated payments the second time that you need to file a return. I know that's fairly, it's a very complicated and sort of nuanced thing to think through. So I'll try and speak slowly, but this is also, again, this is something that we're going to have a ton more information about. We're going to have blog posts about it. We'll do an individual video about it, but we're trying to socialize these ideas now just to make sure that we're getting these things out there. What do they say? How many impressions does a person need to have before they remember it? Is it like 17 or 22 times?
Too many.
22 times for someone to hear something before they remember it. So, okay, consider this like time number 3.
Exactly.
All right. So the way this works is if you have not had to file a return because you're brand new or you didn't have the liability, you're going to do all your business this year, here in 2025. And in 2026, you will have to file your return for all that activity in 2025, right? And then you have a tax bill. Normally what would happen is that you would pay your tax bill for 2025, and then we would ask you to pay an estimated payment for 2026 at the exact same time, which feels very much like a
conductive.
a double tax payment. It's not technically a double tax payment because you will owe that money. It's just we're asking for it upfront. And so we think, City Council and the prior administration and the Department of Revenue think that's probably not the policy that we want to have for new businesses who are maybe have less capital, who have less experience. What we would rather do is have them file and pay for all the activity happening in 2025, and then they do not have to file an estimated payment. Now, come the next year, it's going to be what? Let me look at my cheat sheet. Come the next year in 2026, in 2027, when you file all the activity from 2026, that's when you'll have a tax bill for that stuff, for everything you sold in 2026, and then we're going to ask you to start making estimated payments. And you have the choice. You can do a one lump sum annual payment, or you as a new filer, someone who hasn't had to file in the last 3 years, you will be able to make quarterly estimated payments. So when you file and pay April 15th of 2027, which is going to be for all that stuff you did in 2026, we're also going to ask you to make a quarterly estimated payment for 2027, which by that point, in April of 2027, you will have already done that business.
Right.
Right? So it's not even necessarily ahead of the actual business.
It's like a prepay of the activity that already happened.
Yes.
See?
Yes. It's a prepayment for the activity that already happened.
And then you can see the schedule. We'll catch up with these prepayments and these estimated payments as officially called. And you will see the schedule. We'll kind of guide you through before the filing period of April of 2027. If you follow the schedule properly, you will catch up by January 15, and when time comes for April, you're done. You don't have to. All your estimated payments will be filed and paid, and when the time comes for that year, you file for the previous year, and then you start working on the estimated payments towards the next schedule, which will be year 4 in this case, or in this scenario, year 2028.
Right. And again, we'll put a graphic in the chat. Of what.
However it's easier for you, you let us know. Actually, you want to see a graphic, you want to see a video of this, you want to see it on the blog post, we'll put it out there for you.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we talked about estimated payments. We talked about loss carry forwards. Should we talk about net profit tax?
Let's do it. So we talk about BIRT, and BIRT is the business income receives tax, right? And we said about that tax, it's a tax on 2 components. It's the gross receipts part and the net income portion. That aside, we have the net profits tax. And this is basically, think of it as the wage tax for business owners. If you were to be in the payroll for your own company, and we're now speaking into existence, you are going to be doing very well in your own business, and it will grow, and that point will reaches when you expand. But if you are a very small operation, you will be on the payroll for that company, right? So if you were to be in the payroll for that company, we will withhold wage tax from your income. So if you're now a small business owner, the profit or the pay that you will take for yourself as the owner, that will be considered your income.
Right. So think about it this way. Right. That's a great example. Everyone pays 2 major business taxes. They pay the BIRT, business income receipts tax, and they also pay the net profits tax. However, corporations don't pay the net profits tax. And I think that when we kind of go down this line of thinking, you'll understand why. Because, as Christian says, if you're a sole proprietor and you're a single owner business, and whatever money is left over from your business after expenses, that's your
take it away payment.
That's your profit, but that's essentially your income. If you had a corporation, you as the owner of the company would be on payroll, and wage tax would be withheld. Your corporation will withhold wage tax, and you would pay wage tax on the income from your job. And in the case of net profits tax, it's essentially taxing the wages from your your business, which is your job.
Mhm.
You know, it's just it's kind of the other side of the same coin, essentially, right? The wage tax and net profits tax and earnings tax. Those are all ways that we try to make sure that folks who are working in Philadelphia are paying their fair share.
That's correct. And again, this is all money that gets invested back into the services that helps run the city. However, like we mentioned earlier, this is one of the taxes that, along with the wage tax, is being reduced. The tax rate is being reduced, and it's actually being reduced for 5 years consecutively. It's just happening gradually. So you immediately won't feel the effect, but you will see it going down every single year now through fiscal year 2030. So the administration, and I definitely encourage you to stay on top of it. I mean, those proceedings are not necessarily the most fun to watch, but
please speak for yourself. Okay, I find it all very fascinating.
Okay, well, C-SPAN for you, but definitely tune in. Involve yourself in the conversations of what's happening in your neighborhood, but also in the conversation that impacts you, your daily life, as a business owner in the city.
I want to say one more thing
Sure.
about net profits tax. The thing that you might not realize, because if you haven't had to pay BIRT in the past, is that because that BIRT tax has two halves, it's got the gross receipts and it's got the net income portion. When you pay net profits tax, we will let you take a 60% credit on the on the amount of BIRT that you paid for the net income portion, right? So if you've been in business, you've been paying the net profits tax. What you might see now is that your liability for net profits tax is going to go down because you're paying a little bit more BIRT. Again, that's not going to equal out. It's not going to be exactly even. We expect that most businesses will pay more in taxes next year, but it's a great opportunity for us to remind you, take advantage of the programs that are out there. There is money sitting out there. There is money coming. So please, please, please stay tuned. We want to have Commerce back. Like, we want to do another show at some point and have Commerce back on live so that they can talk about through some of these programs. And we'll talk about them a little bit. We're not the experts on it.
Right.
But we definitely know they exist, and we are definitely going to tell you about it.
Yeah, they sign up for another one of these sessions, and believe me, we'll make sure to stay on that word. But like Rebecca mentioned, work with someone who knows, use the proper forms. If you're not already signed up for the Philadelphia Tax Center, what she just explained happens almost seamlessly between the system when you're doing one form. This is kind of like what comes first, the chicken and the egg. So you will want to do your BIRT first, and then when you transfer and start doing your MPT, that 60% will be there. And that's one thing that's not going away. Unlike the other exemptions, we're able to continue to offer that 60%. So definitely work with someone who knows it, and that will help you take advantage of that benefit.
Exactly. Okay, so we talked about profit tax. We talked about that.
All right, let's talk about resources and where you can get help.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Rebecca was talking about earlier some partners. So throughout the city of Philadelphia, I mean, we don't get invited to a bunch of stuff. Otherwise, I mean, if you got something for us, we'll be there. But not everyone really wants to listen to revenue. We try to keep it very, I don't know, that's as simple as possible. We're not accountants, actually. Those people are in another room. But we try to be as interactive and engaging as possible. But definitely revenue, it's not everyone's. You know, you probably hire someone to do this. Is what I'm trying to say.
We are definitely like people's favorite people. I have to,
For
you
sure.
and me, right? I mean, I think what our goal, Christian and I specifically, our goal is to help bridge the communications between, the tax policy people and the accounting people with you, the business owner, and you, the person who's actually in the trenches doing work every day. As a business owner and as a small business owner.
So speaking of partners and resources, we're now doing kind of like a little series and tour of going to chambers of commerce, business corridors, CDCs, but also we are great partners with the Free Library. I don't know if you're familiar, but the Business Resource Innovation Center.
Yeah, BRIC.
And that's for the BRIC. These are the main branch. They have great resources for you. So that's one place to look into it. The Community College of Philadelphia, they have the Powered Up Business. This is like a business incubator, and also they have great resources for you. As a small business, connect with them. They have few individuals that have been there for a while. They're very knowledgeable. They're super approachable, and they will work with any business, regardless of what your industry is, regardless of your size. You can be a very small operation, 25 employees, 200, but definitely reach out to someone. These are people that are available in our city and will help you navigate everything you need.
Oh yeah, the brick. If you get on the Free Library's website, they'll do headshots. Like they
Oh,
do
yeah.
everything. Like they have.
I should get mine updated.
Yeah, they also, I don't know if you know this, but there are databases that will help you tailor your business or find customers, and those cost a lot of money, but the Free Library has access to those, and you, as a person with a library card, can use them. So, and
Right.
they teach people how to use all that. They teach people about taxes because we show up and do that. So please check out what's around you locally. And again, like our partners at Commerce are going to be able to help direct you in a lot of places. But let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the programs.
So the city, like we said, is investing almost every single dollar they expect to come back in revenue from these increases or changing policies, right? So there are existing programs that are being expanded. So that means that if before they had 10 million, they're increasing that threshold, and that as a result would be accessible to more people, right? The amount of people that will be able to qualify for these programs, they will have more money to distribute. So one we want to talk about, or just want to highlight real quickly, is the Catalyst Fund. This one, it's a known program. It's been around, I don't know, maybe for a while.
I think during the pandemic, this was a program that got started during the pandemic.
So it's been refunded every single time after that, and now more fund has been added to that program.
Right. So we're talking about the Catalyst Fund is a program that aims to help businesses sustain and grow through a flexible funding source. So we're talking about grants. These aren't loans. These are grants between $10,000 to $50,000 for small businesses in Philadelphia. So there is, we will put it in there in the chat, but phila.gov/Catalyst Fund, CATALYSTFUND. That will help get you all the information you need to apply. That's on a rolling basis, I think. Again, we're not the experts. I keep touching my mic. We're not the experts on that program, but we definitely want to make sure that you're aware of it and connect you to where you can find more information.
I am dropping this on the chat of this live streaming, so if you're following along or you're watching later, it's already posted down there. But yeah, definitely check out the Catalyst Fund. If you have any questions as well, you can email business@phila.gov, and the Mayor's Business Action Team will be able to help you navigate it. And like I said earlier, check the requirement, if you can start collecting all the paperwork and requirements, that will put you up front. Because although it's been increased the amount of money available in these programs, you definitely want to be one of the first ones to apply.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's any number of services, and the other big one is that there will be free tax preparation in Philadelphia for businesses that are less than $250,000. We haven't announced details of that yet. We don't want to confuse too many people as we get
Right.
before. We don't want to jump the gun and launch too many details before taxes are due. But we are two things. One, if you are a tax practitioner, be aware because there will be an RFP. The city will be partnering with an army of tax pros.
We need all of you.
To take on new clients, and then the city will be reimbursing those tax pros for offering services to small businesses that are. This is a $250,000. Yeah. Is right. So this for businesses that are less than $250,000 in revenue every year. You could get free tax preparation for not just the city of Philadelphia, but also your state return and your federal return, and I think also support you in a little bit of business coaching, a little bit of like growth mindset,
financial literacy,
right? That kind of stuff, helping get you set up with like more electronic records keeping. This is a very exciting program.
Sure.
More details are coming. So again, sign up for our newsletter.
I mean, we understand if you want to keep doing it on your little notebooks. It worked. It proved it works. You've been doing it for a while. But these are resources that are able to help you navigate, and then keeping good records will probably be part of the requirements then to supply as the paperwork. So definitely we don't want the way you run your business to become an impediment of being eligible to any of these programs. So these are resources available, and I mean 250,000. of sales, it's more actually than we consider with the exemption initially, because the exemption is $100,000. So even individuals that are not directly impacted or were left out of the exemption will qualify for this. So definitely check it out.
And Commerce over time has any number of programs that um, support small businesses specifically, but or businesses that are growing. So, for example, there's things like the Quality Jobs Program, which will give businesses up to $7,000 for every new job created, up to 25 jobs. So that's literally a direct reimbursement to wages that you have paid new employees in your business. Also, things like in-store forgivable loan, that's up to $100,000 for equipment or improvements to a commercial space along specific commercial corridors in Philadelphia. Usually that's retail or food related, but that's a forgivable loan. If you stay in business, you don't have to pay that loan back. Similarly, the city is offering what's called a commercial real estate loan acquisition. So that's for support for you to buy your own building.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, ideally, that's somebody who's been doing business for a little bit.
For a little bit.
They understand what's going on.
You have your eye on what you want.
Yeah, and you're ambitious, and you know what you want. You need just a little bit of support, right? And we want to support the people who want to invest in the commercial corridors in our city. So I think this is it's a great opportunity for folks to get into a retail space, get into a place where they are going to grow their business, improve their corridors. It's a win-win kind of for everybody. Similarly, storefront improvement program. If you are in a commercial space on a commercial corridor that is in the program, the city will reimburse you up to $15,000 for you to renovate the exterior of your building. So
the facade
new awning.
You need a signage, new window.
Yeah, like
that door that is clinking and making some noises.
Exactly. And I've seen some beautiful work that has happened. But also like things like the business security program, where the city will help reimburse you for security camera installation, or also the Department of Commerce can connect you to the Philadelphia Business Lending Network, CBLN. And that it specifically will offer up to $35,000 in grant funding, which is a 50% match to an approved loan through that organization, who typically work with traditionally underserved communications or communities, populations. Again, you need to be a Philadelphia-based business. Your annual revenue should be less than $350,000, but it's a great opportunity for somebody who has a plan and they want to grow and they just need a little bit of help, just a little bit of a push.
And speaking of plan, I wanted to add, Rebecca, because it's important. Looking at these programs, I encourage you to go through the list, look at yourself and think of, what are the programs that I may qualify for? And if you already were thinking of, I want to install cameras, I want to fix something on the facade, maybe the money that you were already separating to work in that, you can reutilize it and reinvest it on something else and apply for this program. If you end up getting the money, you don't have to make that investment anymore. You can utilize that money for something else that could end up. So it's, look around, kind of like go shopping on your own business and think big. This is the moment to also get something out of the system. I understand that you may think, obviously, the working with the city is a hassle because of the paperwork or the requirements and walking through the process or waiting to hear about the decision. But ultimately, you can make significant improvement and changes to your business by reshifting some of the things you were already thinking of. I mean, I don't know, we're half of the year already, but if you're already considering making some of this improvement, you don't have to do it out of pocket, and you can utilize that money for something else.
And I think even like feeling kind of intimidated or feeling like you don't want to be hassled by a big paper process. I mean, the Department of Commerce has people to help you with that, right? The business action team and the business managers, the folks who, they're almost like, I always describe them as like a SWAT team. You get this weird letter and you're like, I don't know what this means, and it's from L&I, or it's from Revenue, or it's from the Street Department. There are people in the city who will help you navigate what that thing is. Now, our letters would never make you.
You don't have that issue with us.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that issue with us. But if you did, you need to tell me so that we can fix it. But anyway, so moving forward though, so there are a ton of resources. Sign up for our newsletter because we'll continually be sending information out about information sessions, but also links to interest forms, links to application forms. You know, as these programs get stood up or as these programs get launched or expanded, you're definitely going to hear a lot more about it.
I'm actually gonna drop the link. That's another one you will find in the chat of this live feed. It's for our newsletter. We definitely wanted you to check that out if you had an opportunity and sign up for it.
So I think we're almost done. I haven't seen any questions come through.
No, I would expect that most of you are gonna then consume this at your own time when you're at home, maybe in the evening or something. So really, definitely check out our contact information. Our website's always available. We work very hard on updating our website, publishing only what it's pertinent to you, right? As a business owner or homeowner in the city. And we have weekly blog posts going out, employee language. If there's a concept, a terminology, a program, something that is happening, a change in policy, we're breaking it out weekly basis in our blog post section of the website. This is bill.gov/revenue. And this is information that we have all the links there, how to apply, where to go, who to contact, and all of that information. So if you're seeing this at a later time, go to our website, bill.gov/revenue. One thing that we also want to talk about is about language. It's not lost on me because the tax preparation services that we are, Commerce is launching will probably, much likely, going to target also the individual who speak English as a second language. So they're prioritizing you as a business owner who moved here or it's here, rooting and making a living and choosing the city of Philadelphia to do businesses. So definitely we want to prioritize that, your needs in your native language, if that's the case.
And that goes for every city service, no matter what. Across the city, if you need service in a language that is not English, you have the right to ask for that service in another language and ask for that accommodation to have translation services or interpretive services. That's a very, very serious commitment from the city of Philadelphia. And obviously revenue takes that very seriously, but across the city, in any interaction that you have that anyone that you talk to should have the resources to be able to get interpretive or translation services for you.
Awesome. So how to stay in contact with us? We have 3 municipal service center. One open, I think it was at the beginning of this year, early this year, February. So I don't know if you're familiar with Hope Plaza in the North Philadelphia area. We have a municipal service center there. It's packed with everything you can do in revenue in Center City except for cash payments. But everything else, you need something like a tax clearance, open an account, close accounts, submit an application for something, pay your water bill. You can do it at that center. We also have the Northeast up in Castro Avenue, and we also here at Center City Municipal Service Building. So feel free to reach out. The revenue department employees and staff is more than willing and available to help you navigate everything that is coming down the pipeline.
And if you have tax questions or you need support with one of your accounts, I really recommend that you email us at revenue@phila.gov. I know that sometimes it can take a day or two to get a response. However, you'll have everything in writing, and you don't have to wait on the phone. You can wait on the phone. Well, we will answer your call. However, I will just, set the right expectation that a lot of people call us.
Yes.
So we really encourage people to email us, revenue@phila.gov, for account level questions. And if you do need to call because you have a business tax question, call us at 215-686-6600. That's 215-686-6600. And our helpful representative will be happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you. I know some of you some have other things to attend to. We will do this for as long as needed, but we want to keep it short. We will do this again. If you have any suggestions for the next one, topics you want to hear about, our DMs are open here on Facebook. YouTube, you can leave comments throughout the video as well. We'll be uploading this to YouTube. And we always try to monitor those in a timely basis. So feel free to send suggestions to us. And thank you to Rebecca for coming back. She's still here. She's not going anywhere, and I'll make sure to sign her up for the next one.
Thank you, Christian. It's really good to be here, and I'm really glad that we're back on air. So,
Thank you.
hasta luego.
Hasta luego. See you.